Today I'm checking out once again a controller by IINE, but this time there are actually two of them. The IINE Athena caught my eye a while ago, but what I only saw recently is that there are two models, the IINE Athena and the IINE Athena PC version. You can find both of them for around $25 to $30 and come in colors vintage white for this one, which I will call the Switch version, and classic white or mechanical grey for this one, the PC version. So how are they? Which one is better? Are they worth picking up? Well, let's find out. When looking at both the controllers, you'll see that they are mostly the same, so my first impression was about the same for both of them as well. That being said, I do like the color scheme of the Switch version slightly better. Picking it up, I noticed two things that I didn't like at all. The back and the sticks use a really grippy texture. Not only do I not like that, but it's also a dirt magnet. I have cats that get dirty really quickly, and this is how the sticks looked after not even 2 hours of playing Dark Souls, while sometimes picking up my cats to remove them from the desk. It's not pretty. With that out of the way, the rest of the controller feels pretty good actually. The buttons have a nice amount of resistance, the triggers move smoothly, the texture of the plastic on top feels quite premium, and with the weight of around 225 grams, it has a nice heft to it. I'm quite impressed, especially for the price. I then turned on the PC version by accident, and blue LEDs. Why? The promotional material shows them being white. This is the second time that this has happened. And look, they did it correctly on the other one. The white looks fantastic, so why IINE? No use harping much long on this though, so let's get to the specs. When you have controllers that are this identical, you kinda expect them to have the same specs, or that one improves over the other. But with these, it's kinda strange. The Switch version advertises linear magnetic triggers, macros up to 252 steps with 63 per button. Turbo, 6-axis gyro, 1000 mAh battery, 3D competitive joysticks without dead zone or drift, dual connection with the Switch and their app at the same time, and connection to the PC, Switch and phone. On the other hand, the PC version advertises Hall effect sticks and triggers, macros but no steps given, 1000 Hz polling rate, 6-axis gyro, support of the IINE PC app, D-pad switching between 4-way and 8-way, and connection to the Switch, PC, phone and PS3 for some reason. Those differences are really strange, and a few things are already worth pointing out. The Switch version for some reason does not advertise Hall effect, but I feel like they must have used them with the way that they describe it. Then we have the macros. How do they get these numbers? 252 steps while both hold 63 each? Yeah, that makes sense. After searching for a while though, I found out how they get to that number. You can see it in the app. IINE counts both the button presses and releases, so 63 inputs turn into 126 steps. A bit strange, but I guess the larger number sells better, and 63 is still quite impressive. And then we have the PC version, which for some reason specifically points out PS3 compatibility. I don't mind that, but I've never seen another controller do that. Also, the packaging does not mention this at all. Then we have the battery. I just couldn't find a number for how big it is. I would guess it's 1000 mAh, but it could also be different. And one more thing is the supposed IINE PC app. I searched and contacted the seller, but was not able to find out where I can download it. But with all of this weirdness aside, let's move on to the hardware. Since I'm covering two controllers, let me go through the actuation force really quick. The Switch version provides a fairly consistent experience. A, B, X take 105 grams and Y take 100 grams. The D-pad needs 220 for all but down, which takes 200 grams. Plus and minus take 110 gram each, and L3 and R3 need 195 grams and 145 grams, making them quite standard. The PC version was a bit less consistent. A took 100, B 110, X 105 and Y 115 grams. The D-pad took 200 for up and down, and 205 for left and right. Start and select were unusually stiff with 170 and 150 grams. And L3 and R3 were the opposite with an unusually low 665 grams and 720 grams. Getting to the sticks themselves, the Switch version has a nice average circularity error of 0.1% on hardware test, and 0.7 to 0.9% with joystick tester. While testing them, I did notice that the left stick feels a bit crunchy, almost like it's missing lube or something. Using the polling rate tester, I got 500Hz max and 379Hz average. The average circularity error was 2% for the left, while the right failed to be picked up. And with the joystick tester, it was 0.5 for the left and 10.1 for the right. This extreme difference is because the right stick seems to be stuck in a square gate. Also, according to the lights on the controller, it is also stuck in D-input mode, so that could explain the right stick not being picked up correctly. While editing, I tried to fix these two problems again. As for the square gates, I just didn't read the manual correctly. I managed to fix that now, and joystick tester shows 2% for both of them. When it comes to the X input and D input thing though, I have no idea. I tried some combinations that aren't even in the manual, but I didn't find anything. I then get to the polling rate, and it's 250Hz max with an average of 231. Yeah, that's quite far off from the advertised 1000Hz. Both sticks are nice and smooth though. Well, let's move on to the sound test. The two controllers are quite similar in sound, and most of it is actually really good. You can hear a slight difference though in the turbo button on the center on the back. The Switch version is a bit more muted. Also, when you focus, you can hear the left stick has some crunchiness that is not present on the PC version. All in all though, it's a fantastic sounding controller, especially the pedals on the back are often a bit of a weak spot, since they sound quite hollow, not on the Athenas though. In general use, I think both of these controllers are fine, and I didn't notice anything at first, but while I was playing Dark Souls with the PC version, I noticed that after playing a while it would sometimes happen that the stick no longer reaches all the directions to 100%. My character would then slow walk for a second, and after everything I can't even figure out what to blame. Is it the stick's desyncing? Is it the D input? Is it Dark Souls itself that doesn't like the controller? All I know is that I don't want to use the controller itself for Dark Souls after that. I didn't notice the same behavior with the Switch version, but I also can't rule it out completely. Up till this revelation, I really didn't dislike the Athenas. Of course, I already mentioned it in the beginning, but the two are dirt magnets because of the stick and the back texture. Being white doesn't help them either. Darker colors like black would help a lot. But maybe there's a saving grace in the D-pad? Well, actually, yes. The Athena has a great D-pad. It has good travel, misinputs are rare, and the slightly concave shape works great. Added on top of that is that the PC version has an option to switch between 4-way and 8-way D-pad. All that seems to happen in the 4-way is that it won't activate the next direction until the previous one has been let go of. I don't get why once again this is only on one of them, but it makes the D-pad even better. I'm getting close to saying that this might be one of the best D-pads I've used in a while. When it comes to the gyro, then I can say that it works flawlessly with both controllers. You need to be aware though that the gyro they use is a native implementation and not an emulation of the sticks. Because of that, the device needs to support it for it to work. When it comes to the macro, there's just more oddities between the two controllers. The Switch version can record 63 steps per side as promised, and does the weird thing where releases are counted as steps in the app. And all of that is fine enough, but when you get to the PC version, you only get 20 steps each. And on top of that, you can't use the start or select buttons in the macro. This is horrible, since my most common macro is to quit out in Dark Souls. Now when it comes to the advertised PS3 compatibility of the PC version, I can say that it works 100%. Even the home button works. This is something that many controllers can't do, such as the PS4 controller. So for me, this is actually an interesting feature, since my PS3 controller has sticks that feel like they've been dipped in honey. I wasn't able to connect it via Bluetooth though, so I can't say if it works fine with that. But I was able to do it with the Switch version, and with that one the home button does not work. Because of that, the PC version gets some bonus points. In conclusion, I really want to like these controllers, but both have their own quirks that makes them unpleasant to use, from the grippy texture, stock configuration, missing or wrong information, to blue LEDs. I can to some degree recommend the Switch version, but not the PC version as it has too many flaws. That being said, I will probably keep the PC version around with some stick covers, which IINE sells, and they should include some for free by the way, so that I can use it on my PS3, as it is generally a more premium feeling controller than all the third-party DS3 knockoffs I tried over the years. This goes out to IINE. Make an Athena 2 with the PC layout and all the features and fixes in one controller. Dongle, PS3 compatibility, app configuration, better stick textures, etc, etc. Then I think you will have a great controller on your hand, and I will certainly buy one and recommend it. If there are any other controllers or devices you want me to check out, then post them in the comments below. And other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe.